welcome to Open All Hands for the month of April. Unfortunately for today, I will be your host. So you have to just get used to me being around for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes or thereabout. Welcome once again to this All Hands section, Open All Hands section. And in this session, we have 2 topics, right? But before we go into that, we now have these icebreaker habits, right? And it's going to be led by Priscilla. So Priscilla, let us know what you have today for our icebreaker.
Okay, hello everyone.
Hi,
Ooh,
Priscilla.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Hello.
Hi.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. So this is a little question. We want everybody to be present. I hope you guys can see my screen now.
Nah, it's blank on my end.
Oh. How about now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you remove the call screen? It's blocking some part of your screen.
Okay. A moment. Is it better now?
No. I mean, the one on the right is the problem.
Oh, okay. Is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are a few questions. So for our icebreaker today, we want to know, but please don't Google this. Let's see those who have the sharp minds and can answer these questions. So the first question, so this country is home to the world's largest island. So if you could tell us the country with the world's largest island, you can put your answer in the chat. Then we see those with the fastest hands and fastest brains. So I'm in the chat now.
Like Priscilla said, no browsing, don't browse.
Yes, please, no browsing, no Googling. No AI, no ChatGPT.
Yan is cheating already.
No perplexity, no DeepSeek, please. Oh, someone said Denmark. Someone said Australia. So we have 4 questions. You could pick one and answer. So it could be quick.
Madagascar.
Someone said Madagascar. Greenland. Jan said Greenland.
I knew that before I started Googling.
Wow, Jan, are you sure?
That's so funny.
Okay. So someone said Denmark first, then Jan said Greenland. So those who went for Greenland or Denmark, you are right. So it's Greenland and Denmark. So the second question, the country has the world's largest coastline, sorry. So I'm also waiting for that one. South Africa. Oh, someone said number 4 is South Africa. It's true. For number 4, I thought that would have been the first question people would answer because of Cape Town. We all know that Cape Town is in South Africa. So well done. Ray, I think Ray was the one who said South Africa. Ray, well done. Now you have a bragging right, okay. So those saying Canada, what question are you answering? So please indicate the number of questions, then you add your answer so that we know which one you're answering to. Jan, please, I'm waiting for your answer for number 2 and 3. Since 1 and 4 is done.
Vanny and Edwin, they mentioned Canada for number 2. I think it was number 2 question we asked before they did mention Canada.
Yes, number 2 is Canada. The answer is Canada. So he said it's Vanny and Edwin.
Yeah. On my
Oh,
end.
and even Jan said Canada for number 2.
Mhm.
Go, Jan.
Vanny came first.
Yeah, I think Vanny came
Oh,
first. Vanny first.
then Vanny, you have the bragging rights. Sharp brains, sharp brains.
3.
Number 3, someone said Iraq.
Iraq. Yeah, wow.
Iraq.
Of course.
Yes, it is. Iraq, it is. Oh, well done, guys. Well done, well done, well done. The sharp brainers are here. Well done. So thank you all for participating in this
Sorry,
icebreaker.
Priscilla, is Iraq the only country that ends with Q?
Yes. Oh,
I don't know.
I think it's only Iraq.
All right.
Or do anyone has any other country
No,
with a name ended with Q?
Rama said just Iraq.
Well, in Dutch, we write it with a K at the end. And I wonder how the Iraqi people write it themselves. Not even sure if they have the alphabet, to be honest.
Exactly. They should have waited for us to answer, not them.
All right.
Oh,
that's
well done, guys.
going.
All
Well
right.
done.
I think we have a packed meeting today, so
Yeah, so we are going to move
Yeah.
straight into today's agenda. And the first agenda we have is the H1 reports. So normally today we should be having our monthly retrospective, right? But Jan suggested that we should make it a H1 report where we come in and then list what we have done throughout the past 3 months, based off of what we promised to do from the last 6 months of last year, right? So we did a end of the year retrospective, and now we should have something tangible to show off over the last 3 months, right? And that's what we are going to be doing today. But then again, we still have the monthly reports in the website, right? Where you can just go there and see what have been done for the month of April in the various circles. But to make this meeting a little bit short or to manage time, we are going to be presenting just H1, right? And I'll be sharing my screen while I call on the different coordinators for the circles, and we will move on from there. Yep. So the first on my list is the review circle. So Slate and Paulo, please get ready while I share my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, please do let me know. That's
Yes, we can.
all right. So Slate, it is right.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah.
All right.
Could you please share the link to the document in the chat here so that we can read along?
Yeah. There is this is the link to the report in the community website. At least it's linked to the events in the community website. I'll be sharing the link to the doc right now.
That's
Yeah.
even better. You're showing people the actual way and just giving them the easy.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mayor, and hi everybody. Okay, so Review Circle made some projections at the start of the year 2025. We mentioned some plans and some intentions that we are going to be undertaking the first half of the year 2025. And I'm going to just scroll through all these points. The first one was that we projected that we are going to be scaling the expert reviewer program, which included different details like onboarding more reviewers, more domain experts in different fields according to the need of the circle, and also like what kind of proposals get submitted in deep funding. We had several interviews in which multiple expert reviewers were selected, mainly domain experts, and a total of 27 domain experts by this day has been added or onboarded to the review circle. So we are still working upon it, and along with the needs and as time passes, we also intend to onboard more. Then moving forward, we have the dual reviewer system. This we proposed like having 2 reviewers per deliverable. We have something similar that we are working on. That's the reassignments of reviews, but we haven't actually worked upon the dual reviewer system as of yet. So because we had multiple different things that got in between, like the RFP proposal round along with the BJ Nexus round. So this point has been delayed, and we haven't yet worked upon it, but we intend to work upon it soon. The third point is the enhanced reviewer engagement or upskilling reviewers. This point is also on track, and we are working on it. This basically includes improving the reports which are generated or submitted by the reviewers themselves, how they assess each projects, and how they submit reports for each project, and how much of quality the reports are when they submit them, and how much detail it has. So according to that, interested participants or interested reviewers are given the opportunity to upskill them either through the courses, which can be given to them or allotted to them, and then later on they can provide more hours to the circle. The second way is, which we do either individually or in our weekly calls as well, that is, we assess these reports and check what are the things which are missing yet, and what can be added to improve the review even more. We do that individually as well by reaching out to the reviewer and solving any issues that the reviewer might face, and also if more details are required. And then if we go to the fourth point, that's operational efficiency. That's mostly related to review circle and the operation circle side by side. So we projected this as well, that we are going to be working alongside the operation circle in most of the things, which we have been doing before as well. So this mainly includes providing them reports or errors that we face during each processes that are related to the review and along with the operation circle. We are also working with the operation circle to have the best processes implemented in the new updates that's going to be launched by the operation circle. So for that, we are also progressing and providing the most details that we can and the processes that we follow with the operation circle. Then the last point is round 5, or we projected that we are going to be prepared for the round 5, the review circle. And we are prepared for it. Actually, when we onboarded the domain experts, we didn't had any experience with them. Like they didn't had any experience with the reviews. So thankfully, we also had the BJ Nexus round, the collaboration round, and also the RFP proposal round for that space to get covered. And also we have the old reviewers, which have multiple projects experience from the past and have been here with the review circle for quite some time. So for round 5, we are prepared. Then if we go down, we have the highlights, what's going well. The onboarding of reviewers got completed, so that's a good point. Then we had the BGA Nexus round reviews along with the RFP ones, the RFP proposal round, produced really good outcomes. The reviews were on spot, and yeah, good proposals were selected. Then we have the third point, which our circle is big now, and now we have like an open all hands and review circle calls. So that's like a lot of people in our weekly calls, which is really good. Then we have challenges slash what's lagging. We faced issues with the onboarding of reviewers at first, because there's a lot of details that we need to collect and onboard it to our system. So that took longer than expected, but yeah, this was a challenge that was overcome. Then we have new and emerging activities. We have multiple new and emerging activities, which include changing the format of the review circle reports. Over here, the review circle reports means the milestone reports that get submitted. We are trying to add more details and depth to those reports, so the reviewers don't only have the free form space to fill in the details, but also some predefined things that they have to identify in these milestone submissions. So we're working towards that. Then we have the second point, that's updating reviewers info. This includes the updating of the information that we have for each reviewer on a timely basis, because as time passes, their skills might be increasing, or they might be working upon different stuff. They might be acquiring new skills. So we tend to update those skills regularly now in our system, in the sheets. So we have the most relevant and the most updated information whenever a new round or new projects come into the review circle. Then we have the third point, that's the visual representation, which is also related to what processes that we follow. We first used to document them only, but now we are trying to visually represent them as well through flowcharts and diagrams. So we have a visual representation of each of the process that we follow. That could be either payments, reports, bonus, and all the other activities that the review circle follows. So yeah, that's about it for the H1 halftime circle report. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Slate. Can I ask a question, please? You mentioned that you want to onboard more reviewers. Why? I feel like since you guys are more than up to 30 right now, is there a reason why you want to onboard more reviewers?
Okay. So that actually depends upon what kind of needs arises. So we might not need reviewers for multiple rounds now, because we have experts from different fields, which we can adjust and of course upskill as well. So that wouldn't be something as of a major priority to us, but it's something that we can consider when we have proposals, or because there are RFPs and also these other projects that are very technical in a way. So in those scenarios, we might be needing more reviewers, or we might be actually appointing the best candidates whenever we do interviews with them. So this is something that we consider and not actually a top priority for us.
Thank you, Slate. Tommy, please.
Yeah, that was a fantastic report. Very concise, professionally presented. My question has to do with quality. One of the mantras that had cropped up about a year ago in the focus group was quality of proposals. Can you make any suggestions, either in the review or pre-review with the proposers? How can we increase the quality proposals that we're getting and the quality that get through?
Okay. So whenever we receive these proposals, our first main priority to check is usually whether all the details which are given in the portal or in the round itself are covered by the team or not. So from the team, it's mainly related, because whenever a team is submitting a proposal, we tend to see whether it's related to the round itself or not. Or the second thing would be whether all these details which have been given in the portal are completed by the team or not. So that increases the quality itself. Second thing would be the relevance with the deep funding program itself and its vision. So if that can be followed by the proposers, that is also a one-up. That's what I think.
All right. Tommy, I hope that answered the question. All right. Tommy, thumbs up. So we'll be moving to the next circle, which is the focus group, right? So it's going to be either Vani, Tommy, or Ubio. Please, who is presenting?
We haven't actually decided who's presenting it. I can, or Tommy, or Ubio, do you want to? Oh, I'm getting a ringing silence. I think that means it's me. All right, so um the highlights that we of the planned goals that we identified in January are, first of all, we said we were going to continue in our kind of ongoing sounding board advisory role. And yeah, that's basically on track. It's ongoing work, it's the core thing that we do rather than a time limited task. So it's probably never, we're never going to tick it off as completed. It's going to be what we do. And yeah, so on track is probably the best descriptor. We've continued in this sounding board role for Jan and Rafael, as we always have, covering discussions on some really wide-ranging issues over the last 4 months. So, payment structures, all the stuff where circles decided on how they wanted to be paid, we kind of spearheaded that. Circle leadership, how how should the decision be made about who leads a circle? Awarded teams and proposal completion we've had a look at. Ways of collecting anonymous feedback, the anonymous feedback channel that we've got in Mattermost stemmed from an idea of Jan's, if I remember rightly. The whole thing about refining proposal milestones once a proposal is funded is an idea that we've been talking about. Milestone review quality. We've certainly heard and sort of engaged a bit with stuff that's come out of Review Circle, and I think they've been doing some brilliant work. So we've kind of talked about that and how the community as a whole can support it. Yeah, there's a current idea on the table about the idea that voting might not be the final decision. Sorry, can you stop scrolling? Thank you. Yeah, it might not be the final decision. It might just be a step in the process. In our last report, we also said that we would aim to undertake a similar kind of critical friend listening advisory role for other circles on request. No one's kind of requested it, but we would be up for it if anybody, very much up for it, if anybody wanted to have a bit of a sit down and a strategic chat. We're quite good facilitators. But even though we haven't done it with other circles, we have done it with BGI Nexus. We had a chat with them to help them firm up the details of their recent funding round. The next kind of area that we mentioned in January was championing decentralization across the programme. And that's on track too. Again, it's just ongoing work and it's unlikely to ever be finished, but we are doing it. I mean, most of the discussions we have touch on decentralization as an aim in some way. We cover it, whatever we're talking about. We try to keep it to the forefront. And we do keep tabs on how decentralization is playing out across the ecosystem. We're actually thinking at the moment, and it's not definitely agreed between us all, but we're thinking about creating some sort of a state of the ecosystem report on where we're at in regard to decentralization. A sort of thing that we could, quite a zoomed out approach, which we could update from time to time and just kind of enable the community to keep a bit of track of the things that we're noticing. And, we could open it to comments and hopefully generate discussion around decentralization, what it means to us, how important it is, whether, there are times when we don't see it as a priority, all those things. And then, yeah, change management was the other thing that we said we wanted to focus on back in January. And we are a little behind in our plans to do that. We were particularly wanting to gather data about, both qualitative and quantitative, about the change that's happened in how circles are paid. And because that took a little bit longer to put in place than we maybe thought it would, we want to give it time. We've only done it once, I think. People have only put in their payments in the way that they wanted to be paid once. So yeah, we want to give it a little bit of time before we start analysing. But we're hoping to maybe have something by June where we kind of look analytically at what effects it's had and ask people in the community what they think about it. So yeah, if you can scroll down a little bit for me, that'd be ace. Yeah, so what's going well? Loads of stuff is going well, and we were kind of a bit stumped about what to pick out, but we particularly enjoyed our collaboration with BGI Nexus. And it was interesting to kind of look into how a partner round comes together. Challenges, yeah, in our role as champions of decentralization, whatever you want to call it, we have sometimes found centralized discussions being made before we're actually aware of it. So we can't kind of have any input on it. And we find ourselves trying, sort of pedaling quite fast to try and align this with a decentralized approach, which has sometimes been a little bit tricky. But it's a really interesting thing, and sometimes a centralized decision does kind of need to be made. So yeah, and our discussions, both in meetings and outside them, can be really complex and wide-ranging, and sometimes actually confidential. So that can be difficult when we also want to find ways to share at least some of what we're discussing with the wider community. So yeah, we of course do this to some extent with the monthly reports that we make, like any other circle, but we're kind of feeling that maybe we're not doing quite enough, and we want to pull together some more detailed reporting, like I mentioned earlier, about, kind of state of the ecosystem on decentralization. On new and emerging activities, I put none, but it's probably like loads because there's new things coming up every time we meet. And that's partly because of our role in sort of hearing from Jan and Rafael about the stuff they're dealing with. So there's always something new. And just a quick budget note, last time we put in a report, a sort of half-yearly report in January, we hadn't submitted funding requests for quite a while, and that's now been rectified. And we did say that our kind of chosen approach of a monthly stipend, we'd treat it as an experiment, and we'd review how it was going. And we can report that it's going really well. It's working really well for us, as it simplifies things and it really reduces our admin time on recording little micro engagements that we might do. So yeah, that's us. Thank you.
Thank you, Vani. Do anyone have any question for the focus group? Or does Tommy or Ubio want to add to what Vani has said so far? I guess none. I guess the silence says none. So the next circle would be the marketing circle, and we have either Judith or Andrea presenting.
Yes, thank you. Okay. So for the marketing circle, I had another version. Okay. Okay, so the getting the basics up and running with this new circle members, we just onboarded around 3 circle members, and right now they have more knowledge over how to post, about how to write newsletters, blog posts, and always keeping them informed about what's going on. We came up with another form or document to update them and to have more order when it comes to tasks and accomplishing them. We have the regular social media posts, newsletter, blogs, meeting recordings, education going out to our community. And the goal of getting the circle back up and running is successfully completed. So that's from January, or actually the last year, and how it's been doing the circle until now. And then we have the second activity. It's decide on how the circle should be run to give everyone creative freedom. So we are encouraging people to be accountable of what they're doing instead of trying to direct them too much. As you know, we still have coordinators in this circle, and the reason is because some members don't work autonomously, while others need more guidance. So we are trying to help them to be more accountable, and that will help the marketing circle to run smoothly and better. As for the third goal, increase community engagement. So we asked 3 circle members to come up with initiatives to attract more members and also to engage members that are already part of our community. Actually, maybe some of you participated already. I just wanna spread the word about them a little bit. One of them is Finding the Word. Is gonna happen every Friday at 1 p.m. UTC. And you can look for a sentence on the website and earn $5 in our token money. Or you can just write down a text with the word we are looking for. We have another initiative, that's the storytelling challenge. We invite everyone. I think we still have time for people to submit their stories. Yeah, we have until the 25th of April. If you need, I will ask Abdul Rahman to share the link in the comments. So if anyone wants to join, please apply. So as for the what's going well, well, our content has increased steadily every month. There is a huge difference between January and April. We have been adding new members regularly and found matching tasks for their skill sets. In December, we only had 3 members, and now we are around 15 members that are actively contributing. And we are also constantly improving our strategy for circle management and content strategy. Right now, we need more members, so we just sent out an invitation for people who are interested in the marketing circle to join. Sometimes the tasks get delayed, and that's because our members are already at capacity. So that's the reason we want to hire more people. The quality of content in some areas has room for improvement. Sometimes sound too similar and could use more creativity. Some members are still not fully familiar with our ecosystem. Therefore, it's difficult for them to write certain content pieces with detailed information. As for new activities, the in-person event framework with collaboration with events and the outreach circle is in its starting phase. Then we are exploring tools for automation and easier content creation. We have now Canva templates for different graphics, so it's easier and faster to design them or to have them ready just in case we need like to send out information right away. We are using Doodle video software and AI avatar video software as well. And yeah, that's the marketing circle.
Thank you, Andrea. So regarding this line here, is there a link for people to apply to the marketing circle?
Sorry, could you come again?
Regarding this line here, is there a link for people to apply to the marketing circle?
Well, we would like them to have marketing skills. We are just asking for content creation, posts, blog posts. That's it. Like writing skills would be great, and yeah.
Okay. Do you have a link for them to apply? Can you drop it in chat?
Yes, sure. We have a link, and they also can go to the website, to the marketing circle, and find the apply button, or on the website there's also the roles to apply. They can also go there, but we are sharing the link. If anyone from the marketing circle can help me with that, that would be great.
All right. Thank you very much, Andrea.
Thank
Please, do we have any questions for Andrea or the marketing circle?
Yeah, I think I do. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
All right, Andrea, thank you so much. I think I would want to commend you guys for the work in putting up the marketing circle, at least compared to the last quarter. I would say it's much more improved. So I think maybe a question and more like what would be helpful for probably next reporting. I think when marketing circles usually give reports, I think it's always beautiful to see it being empirical, right? So it will be beautiful to see when you tell us that there is much more engagement now, which I can actually attest to. But I think getting that numbers is always very important for the marketing cycle, especially. So let's get to when we say there's an improvement in engagement. What's the impression? Social media impressions. What's the loop, the feedback loop? How fast are we responding? All of that, if we can measure that, I think it will make this reporting much more beautiful, because like I said, this is one of the stuff we always look out for when we want to hear from marketing. I think so yeah, maybe for next reporting it would be very nice if we can have this added as well. But like I said, you guys are doing an amazing job. Just a side note, when I saw the whole story initiative, I suddenly got a spark that I can actually write a story to use and advertise the AI for peace. So I'm actually writing already, and I'm submitting not because I want to win, but because I just want it to be out there so that people can be encouraged and get to apply. So I'm just writing about peace and the relationship to AI. Hopefully I'll be able to get it in on time. So yeah, just a side note, but yeah, good initiative.
Thank you so much, Rubio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason we are hiring more people, because sometimes we don't have the post or the blog post, or we don't have time to review them. It's like a matter of a lot of work coming up in our hands. But yeah, that's the reason we are hiring. And I think if we can get more interested people and skilled people, it's gonna get easier and faster, and the announcements are gonna go out on time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Love, please go first.
Sorry, this is just a quick one. I just went to the part where Marketing Circle said that they're open for new members, and I saw that the deadline of 5th January is still there. I just feel like as this is more like part of onboarding stuffs. If you need new members, you should not put that deadline. It's confusing. If I'm coming to that site, I'm going to be wondering why they have something contradicting there. I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, thank you, Love. We will look into it.
Yeah. Ayo, I don't know if Ayo is here. Ayo, is that something you can look into as well? No, sorry, he isn't. Please, Vani.
Yes, sorry, I was looking for my unmute button. Yes, please.
So you can look into that as well, right?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you. Vani.
Yeah, cool. Just a quick one. Great report, Andrea. I was just wondering, it's brilliant that you're producing more content, but I'm just curious how you're tracking who is looking at it, because that's the other side of the battle, isn't it? It's producing it and then making sure it's seen. So, like, are you using any analytics on that?
Yeah, thank you, Vani, for that question. Actually, yeah, we're working along with the Operation Circle. Edwin and Oscar have been helping with these numbers. And we can also see how what engagement we have when going to the views in some videos or posts on X or Twitter and on YouTube. We are currently working on a YouTube strategy, and we're also trying to come up with new strategies for other social media. But currently, we're working on that, and we are just trying to work together with the Operation Circle to come up with another strategy according to the analytics and the data that we can extract from the website or the social media.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, just to clarify, Andrea is working with the data analytics circle, not the operation circle.
Sorry, yeah.
Thank you. So we would move to the next circle, which is the operation circle. That will be me, unfortunately. So I'll be presenting. So yeah, we started this year with improving the operation system in general. The operation team, which is the automation team, which is one part of the operation circle, where I've been working on improving the operation system, which is the operation website. And now we have circle coordinators having logins to track and assess and measure their circle inputs, outputs. So their tags are there. Whatever tasks that have been audited and they want to have a look, you can also see their circle coordinators. And Rojo and the operation circle, we are still working on a lot of stuff. Even though Rojo has left the operation circle, like we announced during the last meeting, but yeah, there is still a lot of stuff going on with the operation system. So for the newly awarded team members and for the second members, we improved the process of onboarding these people into the operation system, which is how a new second member can get their tax sheets and how we can have their wallet addresses and all those kind of stuff. So there is this automation now that just lets you fill a form for a new member that is coming in, and they get their tax sheets and they can start recording and all this kind of stuff. And for this particular one, we are still working on other automations that allow new circle members to just get onboarded and they get their test payments almost immediately. Like their test payment just gets added in to the payment system as well. I think that's one of the stuff we are working on as for the new circle members. And yeah, we have, like, for the half-yearly reports, which we are still going to do by June. We are still working on collecting data, which includes the hours done, and then the metrics for the amounts for each circle members and all those kind of stuff. And yeah, we are still going to be sending that to the data analysis circle for other analysis as well. So these are some of the things we promised during the last for the next 6 months. Stuffs are going well as well. So the highlight is almost all our plans are going well. We just have a little changes here or there. For example, the operation circle now, I don't know if I'm the right person to say this, but the operation circle has been split into 2. So another circle is going to be coming out from the operation circle, which signifies growth, right? I guess since Jan and Rafael hasn't made that announcement, I won't make that announcement myself. But yeah, something like that is coming out from the operation circle. So some of the things that we have not done that we promised to do during these 6 months is to update the website automatically. And this is lagging just because we have a lot of stuff to do with the operation system. So there is a lot of improvements going on, transferring of databases from old ones to new ones and all this kind of stuff. Those are the reasons, that's one of the reasons why we did not, we could not do that. But yeah, it's still part of the plans. Probably we should be done before the 6 months of this year. Another thing that we have done, something new or emerging, is we have a new circle coordinator right now. So with the absence of Rojo, we have appointed a new circle coordinator, appointed directly by Rafael himself. I don't know if I should be saying the name of that person, but yeah, you have been seeing him very active these days in chats, and he's going to be handling the circle part of Operation Circle. So yeah, and I guess I'll be saying the name. Yeah, that person is Ayo, actually. So yeah, Ayo is the new coordinator for the Operation Circle, and is going to be in charge of circles for the Operation Circle. Yeah. And wow, it's even here. So the new circle that is going to be emerging from the Operation Circle is the IT Circle, actually. There is not a lot of details about this yet, but I guess Rafael will make the announcement in subsequent meeting, or probably the next meeting or something, and probably introduce you all to who are the members of this IT circle and why this circle is emerging in the first place. So yeah, those are the things that the operation circle have done throughout. Yeah, those are the things we are working on or we are doing actively for this year so far. So yeah, now back to being the host for this call. Do anybody have questions or something for the operation circle? Well, the silence says no. And thank you for not having questions as well, because I don't know if I'll be able to answer them. So the next in line is the event circle, and it's going to be either Rafael or Priscilla. I'm not surprised. Rafael likes to write a lot, so they have a lot on their reports.
Thank you for the criticism. No, but yeah, it's in the name of I guess some transparency, hopefully. But who knows? Maybe if people feel like reading before going to bed and they don't have a good book, they can come and read this report. It will make them sleepy, hopefully. But yeah, thank you, Victor. Great job hosting. You're gonna have to do it more times.
Rafael forced me to do this, so that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, yeah. Clearly, you all can see how the event circle is a terrible place to be at, but yeah, it's good that we are challenged, I guess. Well, let's go into the reports. I'll try to keep it short. While I don't keep it short in the document, I'll try to keep it short here. We had many things planned, and more things happened. So yeah, it's been a lot. Let's just say like that. First, of course, we did the town hall feedback survey. We got a lot of ideas from improvements that we could apply into a town hall and open hall lands. And we have already started experimenting with that. We'll keep experimenting with that. We have Dice Breakers from Priscilla. You probably know this is a new initiative. We have, for example, the alternating hosts. You don't know who's gonna be the host in any session, so you have to come and find out. And of course, we have also other things that happen in the background. For example, also with the help of Mayor here, we created a way to track the progress of funded proposals, like our own Excel sheet with the contacts as well. And we are using that to try to get more funded proposals to come and to share their ideas. So if you're a funded proposal, if you're progressing, come share your progress. That's what we are all year about. Then we had the community hubs. So at the time we were just finishing the RFP. We launched it. And then we had 40 applications. Thank you all once again. You're amazing. And we had to create a process to review that in the most impartial way possible, select winners, create also processes for onboarding. So it's a lot of work that goes into the background. And yeah, things are working out well. It was more work than expected, but we already started onboarding the first community hubs. Some of them already have events and groups, and we hope to complete the onboarding soon. Then, of course, comes a task related to the above, that is community hub management. But this is the kind of task we'll need to keep doing, keep creating new ways to improve these community hubs and to help them in their goal of decentralizing the growth of deep funding. Okay, we can go to the next one as well. Maybe please go up. I remember more things to say. Thank you. Now, here we're also working on some other processes that we'll need to have continuously. Things like, for example, how are the hubs showing their deliverables and what they've done, metrics and everything. And we're doing this work with other circles as well, like data analytics and hopefully the review circle, which will be helping us analyze these reviews, the deliverables, I mean, from the hubs. So it's a lot of coordination and a lot of cool things. Please, Victor. Yeah, then we also stated that we were going to be doing some recruitment. At the time, we were only three, me, Victor, and Ayo. And well, we've brought two more people in with Mariam and Priscilla. We created the recruitment process that we hope to use in the future, and also an onboarding process for these new individuals. And they've gone through it, and now they're already contributing in some areas. Of course, there's still more learning to do in other more specific areas, but a lot has been done, and I would say recruitment is completed. Then we have the community website management. At the time, it was fully our responsibility, thanks to having Ayo in our circle. He was the one coordinating all the information there. Now, fortunately, and as expected, the number of hours spent on this task is decreasing. Also, with Ayo moving to be the coordinator of operations, a lot of those tasks will be going into operations circle, which makes sense. And some of them, of course, related to events and other things will still be here. So we will still need to be doing those ones. So that's part of the work we need to do until the end. Then I can go a little bit down. We also had something we mentioned that we were starting at the time with the three circle call so that we could have more connection between the three circles. And just more initiatives. And I think this has been, extremely helpful. I do feel closer to the other circles and easier to communicate. And we did start collaborating in things like, for example, we had community hubs, RFPs, and it was great to have the help of the other circles in promoting these. We also had the BGI round where we all tried to collaborate in our ways and discuss how we could increase the reach there. And we have now, for example, the AI for Peace Challenge, which is something we are discussing and working on how we can increase the reach as well. So a lot come from that. And we're also working on experimenting with live events and see what we can come up with that. So let's see. Then we have the hosting, which is the events, the things we are always doing. So we've been able to do them successfully. We haven't missed an event, fortunately, and we hope we don't, right? So we have open all lands, we have the town halls, but besides that, we've also hosted for, I think it was the first time, the half-yearly report event, which we'll keep on hosting. And we also hosted the BGI Spotlight round, which might sound strange, but it was our first Spotlight round, so it was a round with a lot of learnings and hopefully new processes for the future, as we do want to keep doing this for future rounds. Highlights and what's going well. Well, a lot of things are going well, fortunately. I think events engagement and attendance, has been well and it's been growing also because we are growing as deep funding. So a huge thank you to you, community, for being so active and being here and being part of this with us. And also to the members of the Deep Funding Event Circle, which are putting a lot of work to try to make these events a little bit better. So thank you. Then I think we've been having, as you've seen, a lot of work with the community hubs. It was a lot of responsibility, I would say, and also in terms of processes, there were more things than we were expecting. We were expecting to leverage more on some of the existing processes of deep funding, but we had at some point to create our own. Of course, always with the deep funding team watching everything on top. But yeah, definitely a lot of responsibility, but it's good how it's moving so fast and we're onboarding them and things are moving forward. And also, other positive thing is that it seems like we are basically able to complete most of what we planned for the year already. Of course, there are things we need to keep on delivering until the end of the month because there are continued tasks. But in terms of new initiatives, especially with the focus on selecting the hubs and getting the how do you say the new recruitment of the team, well, that's being done as well as the improvements. So a lot of good progress. Can you go down a little bit, Victor? Challenges. All right, awesome. So there's always challenges, as you know. One challenge we are facing that is important is with delegation. Maybe it's a challenge more for the the coordinators, but it's about getting the tasks, getting everyone aligned, and delegating things properly. And also the sometimes it's hard. You know, you delegate, and it can take you a bit more time than just doing it yourself. But at the same time, when you're delegating, you're investing in a community member getting the skills to do the task. So it's a difficult balance, but it's something we need to improve on, and we will try to improve on during this period, how we can delegate more tasks and support more community members to get things done. Also, we've also noticed communication increases a lot when you start having more people because you do need to get things more aligned. Another challenge is also the relates with communication and relates with delegation, but is the background knowledge. So we noticed that for some tasks it's fine. We onboard people, they go through the onboarding process, and we can start having them do those tasks more easily, which is great. Like for example, in events, that's been possible to do. But other tasks related to community hubs, we see that is a bit challenging because they are lacking a lot of the work that was already done, a lot of the background, and then it's hard to delegate and to get them on top of that. So that's something we definitely need to think about, how to transfer this background knowledge in an easier way, because also having people going through a lot of document in their own time is not efficient at all, right? Please go down, Victor. Emerging activities. Well, I'm talking so much, my God. Well, we did a lot. We had to change coordinators. So Ayo has gone through the as a coordinator for operations. Big thanks to Ayo and for the great work he's done. And now we have Priscilla here from the events circle promoted as a coordinator. And this is of course a new responsibility. She's just joined us, so it will have an onboarding process. Then we also had a cool initiative that is the opportunity to work with Analytics Circle to create a dashboard. And that's something we are doing to, especially now starting with the community hubs. The Analytics Circle is helping us getting the metrics properly from hubs, and we hope to share that and the impact of these hubs with the community. We also have some live events work. We've been discussing it as well during the 3 Circle strategy calls, but to try to add more just information to the system, we as the event circle did carry some research, some forms and some things for this process that we are not even sure if it's going to be used or not, but hopefully it was very insightful at the moment. Can you go down, please, Victor? Yeah, definitely one thing I already mentioned, so I'm not going to talk about it. There were some new processes we had to create with community hubs, even related, for example, with terms of agreement, the way their work is going to be reviewed, the way they have their performance metrics, and that needs a completely new process as well. So a lot of things that we weren't expecting and that are taking a bit more time. Some we were, some not so much. And also, thanks to bringing here new members, we've had people with new ideas. One of these ideas was related to outgoing events. So we do have some plans, some research done on how we could do more outgoing events instead of just this open all hands and this community, this town hall for the community. we could do things like in other social networks, like maybe Twitter, and attract new members. We've also, well, there were changes in the payment. So we did add a lot of discussions in the team and how that would affect dynamics and what would be ideal for us. And we came up with a proposal at the time for the funding. And that would fit better our needs. And then also we add a new task management system. This is something new that we are starting now with the analytic circle that we'll be a part of. And I guess we're gonna train our members into being part of that. Yeah, for the budget, there's not much more to say. One thing I would leave here is just, and this is being done also, I think, with this new platform, right, Mayor? But a way to track better the budget, right? The actions that have been done and everything would definitely be important to look back and see what needs to be improved, changed, and how we are using the budget. We do have some new initiatives. So we are also concerned about how is this unexpected work going to impact the budget. But once again, we need more information and more tracking to be able to assess the impact, which sometimes you kind of lack because after you complete the sheets, they are gone. And I wasn't taking screenshots. I know some people were smart and were doing that. Well, I was not. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Rafael. Yeah, you had the longest presentation, I think. I expected that from you. So, do anyone have questions for Rafael for the event circle? I guess it's a whole lot for people to take in to even have questions. Yeah, Vani.
It's not exactly a question for you, Rafael, but at the end of your report, when you're saying there's no way of tracking, isn't there something? Didn't Data Analytics Circle create a sort of a dashboard? I think it might have been Israel who did it, or am I misremembering? I'm sure there's something.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we have at the time is that I could access is the platform. We have the DF operations platform, and there you could there is a way to filter the sheets, but the filtering is not working for me, so I cannot get the previous sheets. So that's my issue.
Ah, see, I'm sure
Uh,
there's something else somewhere. Let me see if I can find a link to it.
if you can, that would be amazing, Vanny. To be honest, but I think
So Rafael,
yeah.
you are referring to find the previous tags that have been that disappears from the sheets, right? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, but hopefully, if we could do even better than that, but that would be already good because then I can do the work on my own. But even better than that is to have just a complete, maybe filtering even with all the actions. And even if you have a dashboard where we can organize things, that would be better, right? So when you know, for example, total spending and other things like this, and maybe like, for example, the great work you've done in the half-yearly report. You see, you had the breakdowns and you had all of that. If we could have something like that, but that would be updated from these Excels, that would be great, I think.
I guess that's one of the things Rojo has been working on as well, but I'm not very sure. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, I think so. And you have now the new system with the task management, so that already will help a lot because you'll see all the tasks. So this is getting done for sure. So it's just a matter of waiting a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Rafael. So I will just move straight to the next circle. The dev out Ubio.
All right.
I guess
Hi
you are
everyone.
the only coordinator for that circle, right?
Yeah, but Andre is also here, and Andre is also
Hi, Ubio.
yeah. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear
Yeah, it's
Ubio?
breaking, but I think we can. Yeah, I can.
I want to be sure that everyone can hear me, so that's why I think Rafael is hearing me, but I want to be sure that you can hear me, Mayor.
Yeah, I can.
All right, okay. Yeah, thank you everyone. So from the developer outreach here, I think at the beginning of this year we actually set up a lot of lofty goals for ourselves, and I think I'm glad to say that we are actually on track to achieving most of it. Maybe just one that we are not on track to achieve, and probably there's a reason for that. So currently, I think one of the things we said we're going to do is to organize at least one hackathon, I think, in this first half year. So currently we're on track on actually organizing a hackathon, but we are not just doing a hackathon. We're doing a dwellathon. That's a combination of both an ideation and hackathon challenge. So I think that's for me that's a positive, because we told ourselves we're going to be doing one, and this is us doing two. It's not just the fact that we're doing two, it's the fact that we're doing two simultaneously. It calls for a different set of capacity, right? So if we're doing one and then planning the second one, okay, so that would be progress, right? But the fact that we're doing these two simultaneously, that's like a geometric progression for me, and that's like something I'm so proud of. One of the things we also said we're going to be doing is we're going to be having we're going to be having partnerships with potential stakeholders who will enable us to achieve more of our goals. We reached out to AfriLabs. It didn't go too well. They were much more focused on money, trying to organize the hackathon instead of trying to create a partnership for something much more sustainable that could help Africa in the long run. So that stalled. However, we were able to still get some other sort of partnerships that were relevant. We actually partnered with Zero to AI, a community, I think Singularity, a deep funded project, and these guys have actually built a platform that helps makes onboarding quite easier and faster, right? Instead of going through the normal gRPC route. So we've got that, and then currently in this particular hackathon and dwellathon, we've actually reached out to influencers, community influencers, and try to get partnerships for them to put out words for us with regards to what we are doing. So, but again, I also want to use this opportunity to say a very big, I think there's been a lot of improvement with respect to platform and onboarding, I think in the past 2 to 3 months. Maybe I wouldn't say directly related to what we did, but I think it's also related to the fact that we have been actively pushing for that. We have a community of people trying to use. I think the documentations got better. Much people from the developer out perspective are it's getting much easier to onboard as compared to how it was about 6 months ago. Scout through onboarders. Okay, so currently we completed the first cohort of onboarders, right? So people who were able to go through the platform, they'll be able to enable other people to awarded projects and even non-awarded projects to get their projects inside the inside the marketplace. So we actually went through the process with them, and it was amazing. But we currently having the second one, but the second one is together with the Zero to AI project. We want to compare both onboarding process, analyze which is better and which the developers would be more convenient using. So this is actually on track. We're also on track on getting 100+ developers. I think if you look at the number of people we have already for the hackathon, the people we have already for the ideation, and the people we have already on the onboarding, you would see that the 100+ is actually on track. For I think as of yesterday when we checked, 39 teams have already registered for the hackathon, right? And then we have about 77+ applications on the about 70+ applications on the ideation portal. Plus and minus should be maybe about 40+ persons, individuals making these applications. And again, I love checking the countries. Yeah, when we're checking the teams and the countries that are actually applying for the hackathon yesterday, we actually had more than 12 countries already, Switzerland, India, Nigeria, Ghana, different countries, which is always one metric I'm always looking out for to ensure that we keep on building diverse nodes and not just centralized decentralization as it's being called. We wanted to do DFAI, like a DF mentorship program, like an AI mentorship program. We have a lot of other priorities right now. That's why and our resources are rather going to that. This is right now a lower priority for us. Hopefully, maybe in the next quarter, we would probably see it as a high priority. What's going well? Doing a dualathon instead of just a hackathon, I would say, was quite unexpected, but a very exciting challenge. Internal organizations for our hackathon and our capacity is getting better, right? We did this dualathon, which was much more harder with less comparable time. Last time it took us 6 months, close to 6 months to be able to organize one. This time around, we took less than 2 months to organize one, and even with a much more set of complexities. So I think the internal capacity is much more improved as compared to what it was about in 6 months ago. Challenges. Well, we got a lot of challenges, especially in this particular hackathon that we did. We couldn't get the deep funding and Singularity Net to initially post about our dualathon. Obviously, due to some internal challenges from the marketing team, but now it's got better now. So that was why we needed to extend the challenge as well. The deep funding hackathon page has been slow to come up. We've done our best to try to push it. The more we try, the more we're not getting it faster. But again, maybe we've been able to substitute it by using forms and every other approach, which was not our ideal approach. Initially, we wanted to launch the hackathon, hoping that the page would be ready in a week, and then we redirect everyone down there. But couldn't be. But we, however, are not waiting for everything to get done, so we just move. Newer or emerging activities. So we have the AI for Peace ideation, which was not part of what we thought. And right now we want to do an AI for Peace town hall, which was initiated through discussion with the 3 circles. It has a lot of sensitivities and issues. We've reached out to the focus group. We've gotten some advice. We are deliberating to see how we push out, and maybe more information on this would actually come up later. So yeah, thank you. That's the update from our team.
Yeah, thank you, Ubio. Yeah, so do anyone have any questions for the Dev Outreach Circle? Right. So the silence says no. So we'll just move quickly to the Data Analytics Circle, and Oscar will be presenting. Oscar, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, please.
Hello, everyone. So I'll be sharing our latest updates on the data analytics work we've been doing from January up until April 2025. I'll walk you through our completed task, what's currently in progress, and what's emerging on our radar. So with some of the completed tasks, we've had the BGI voting analysis and the task categorization for all circles. We've been able to successfully complete 2 important initiatives. The first thing we did was we conducted a comparative analysis of voting algorithms, including ELO, Bradley, Terry, and the Z-score, which helped us improve decision-making models within the BGI voting process. And secondly, we developed a framework to categorize tasks across all circles. This has really helped with better delegation, progress tracking, and aligning work with our broader strategic goals. And for the in-progress tasks, we have the web analytics and user insight, and also the community hub metrics and dashboard. So right now, we are making solid progress on 2 fronts. For web analytics, we are tagging key events on deepfunding.ai and analyzing user behavior using GA4 with things like scroll depth, traffic sources, and heat maps. We've also set up GA4 tracking on community.deepfunding.ai to start collecting insights from the community site. On the dashboard side, we've created KPI structures and templates. The initial dashboard is in development and will be refined once we integrate feedback and data. And with what's going on well, so we've had a deeper insight into user behavior on deep funding, quality assurance support for the website, improved collaboration with the onboarding circle, and survey form and interview questions are also available for usability testing. We are really pleased with the momentum in a few key areas. We've had a deeper insight from the website, especially around how users interact with content. We've also been supporting quality assurance efforts and collaborating more closely with the WordPress team. Together, we are mapping out the user journey and will be running usability tests to help improve the overall experience. With the challenges, so I would say so far, no major blockers or challenges to report. Everything is progressing smoothly and we are keeping a close eye on timelines and dependencies. With what's emerging, so we'll have segmenting users, that is the AGI proposers, return visitors, and general browsers. And also we'll be analyzing engagement based on content release strategies. We'll also be having usability testing for friction points and design validation. We are also starting to explore some exciting new areas. We are beginning to segment users into meaningful groups so we can better understand how different types of users engage with the website. We'll also be analyzing engagement across different content release strategies to see what drives better results. And last but not least, we are expanding usability testing to identify friction points, validate design decisions, and ensure changes are grounded in the real user feedback. So yes, that's all from the data analytics circle.
Yeah, thank you, Oscar. So do anyone have questions for Oscar or the data analytics circle? Or if none, we'll just move forward straight to the onboarding circle. So Vani, Sucre, Love, Tobias, who will be presenting, please?
Yeah, we haven't decided who's doing that either, shall I? Just for speed. Okay, so yeah, the highlights from January. Yeah, so the first thing, it was about actual membership of our circle itself, and also the issue of circle applications, in other words, how people become a member of circles in general. So in January, Monica was a member of the circle, but she left pretty quickly, and we wanted to onboard 2 new people for a total of 5. It's kind of ironic that given our role as onboarding, we had real difficulties onboarding new people via the circle applications process. All 6 of the people that we approached had applied so long ago that they were no longer interested. So that kind of started us off on the whole process of trying to manage or rethink that process. And yeah, we're currently working quite hard on looking at how people apply to become a member of a circle and how that could be improved, where we could automate things. And yeah, we'll have a report on that really soon. In the meantime, we should say that we welcome Tobias as part of the circle, but we're still looking for a 5th member. We think 5 is the optimal. And we'd really like it to be someone from outside who is completely new to deep funding because of the fresh insights they could bring to the onboarding process. So the next thing is the whole idea that we had of working circle by circle and being descriptive, not prescriptive. In other words, finding out how individual circles do their onboarding rather than telling them how they should. So yeah, we have approached all the different circles and collated information on how they do their onboarding. And it's given us some super interesting insights and confirmed our view that different circles do approach things in really different ways, and that should be preserved. We're writing up a report on this, and you can actually, in our monthly report, which we thought we'd be presenting here as well, but you can see a link to our Miro board where we've been kind of wrangling all the input, but we will have a report on it. And the other thing that it's revealed, which I should actually amend this report to say, is that there is a need for some sort of kind of generic resources. So we're looking at what individual circles have already written in terms of onboarding resources. And also, I think there's some collaboration inevitably with documentation circle who are also trying to collate some resources on basic essentials of onboarding. So yeah, we're working on that. We're kind of drawing on what other circles have done, and we're trying to bring it all together and get the basics in place. And then the other thing that we've been doing, we said we'd be doing some user testing of the proposal submission process, and we've started doing that. We've done 3 so far, and they've kind of, what we've basically done is we've got a dummy proposal submission process created for us by operations, and we're asking people to submit a proposal as you would in real life. And we've videoed it and we've noted any sticking points. It's revealed some interesting little things, and we want to do some more of those in the next week or 2, and then we'll have a report on that as well. If you want to scroll down a little bit for us. Cheers. Yeah, so what's going well? Yeah, it's all going pretty well, but it's been particularly nice collaborating with data analytics on the user testing stuff. What's lagging? Yeah, as a relatively new circle, and also a circle whose work touches on what every circle does, it's almost like everybody's got a take on what we do, and we found a little bit of confusion about our role. We feel pretty clear about like our scope and what we need to be working on, but it feels like everybody else has got their own take on it, and we're getting approached a lot to do various different tasks, and it can be a bit of a capacity issue or a prioritization issue. So yeah, it can be tricky to kind of stick to focusing on the stuff the circle was created for. And of course, when new things come up, maybe what the circle was created for needs to shift a little bit. No particular new or emerging activities beyond what we've talked about, and just a budget note that our spending's been a bit less than we forecast because we were assuming 5 people, and sadly we've still only got 4. So that's about it.
Yeah, thank you, Vani. Thank you for your presentation. And that is the end of this document, I guess. So I don't know if we have any other circle that should be presenting, but this is all I've got. So thank you all for your presentation on your H1 reports so far. Because of our time, we'll be moving straight to, oh, Andrea, you have a question?
No, thanks. I just want to mention that we have a new coordinator, and I want to introduce her to everyone. So her name is Inés. I don't know if she's around here. And she's going to be working with, along with Judith and myself, in the marketing circle. And as we mentioned before, we need more hands. So yeah, she's coming into the marketing circle. Well, I guess she's not here, but you'll hear from her soon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that quick update, Andrea. So we'll be moving straight to the Lumio's presentation by Ayo. So Ayo will give context before the presentation itself. So Ayo, are you here?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Mayor, for hosting and for the great work. Thank you so much. Okay, so context started about 3 months ago. We have the core RFP ideation selection panel discussion. There was a whole lot of introduction by Yan about what we wanted to do, what we were looking to achieve, right? And then the how was left to the community. And then we started having conversations about it. And then there was a series of documents towards what we all discussed and shared. And fast forward to the last all hands, we decided we should use the deep funding decision tool, Lumio. And then that's exactly what we did. And then we had about 5 days period for open for the voting. Prior to that time, we were also on the channel having conversations generally about it. And then, of course, our We also spent quite a number of days trying to onboard people into Lumio. So the results I have now, the result came out at 1 p.m. UTC. So I'm sure that people who are on Lumio would have seen it, but the link is also on the event link on the website. So if you want to be on Lumio while we are here or while I'm screen sharing, please feel free. I'm getting the link now to share. It's also the same link that was on the channel on Mattermost, also the same one that I shared in people's DM. All right, so I'll just go straight to sharing screen now. I mean, I keep talking because I assume everyone is everyone is hearing me. So I didn't even ask. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right, thank you. So I'll share screen right away. And yeah, here we are. Sorry, let me pack these things off my, okay. All right. I hope there are no hindrances to what I'm sharing on the screen.
No.
Okay, good. All right, so I want to take it question after question. So this is question 1. How should people get into the CRISP? And of course, we've discussed this at length. We have 43 people voted out of 75, 57% participation, not bad. And okay, this is strange. I'm supposed to be able to see the results. I wonder why I'm not seeing the result there. Oh, all right. Okay, okay. For a second, I was wondering. So here we have it. I don't want to repeat exactly what I'm seeing on the screen because the whole idea is for everyone to see it. But obviously, we have a tie, 25% to SACCOs nominating, selecting, and voting representative into the CRISP. Same 25% goes to use the existing DF review circle as is. And then you have 24% nomination from all SACCos. So we can tell, followed by open application plus selection by Jan and Rafael. And then the no CRISP SACCos decide collectively, 6%. And then the hybrid model that
Is it just me or are you?
I
No,
cannot
it's
hear
not
you
just you.
also.
Okay. I wish I could continue this presentation.
Ayo, can you hear us? Because we cannot hear you. Don't go
Ayo,
down.
we can't hear you anymore.
Don't go
oh,
down.
okay. That's interesting.
Now we
What about
can hear
now?
you. Yeah.
We can hear
Okay.
you now.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
But
Sorry
please
about.
go up to whatever you were saying because yeah.
Okay. What was the last thing?
The hybrid model.
Wow. Okay. So the hybrid model has 5%, and that's of course that's the least voted option. And that's it. The summary for question 1, right? So key takeaway from here is that there are three closely contested options, right? SACCOs nominating representative into CRISP, using the existing review circle, and then nominations from everyone within the community. So let me go to question 2 for the sake of time, because this is going to be obviously conversations, around all of this. Now, the question here is, what is the background that should be accepted or that should be a requirement for anyone who will make it into the CRISP? Technical expertise has 36%, some very clear gap, followed by deep funding ecosystem knowledge and experience by 26%, and then followed by financial and business knowledge, which is at 12%. So it's clear here what people consider the most important background qualifications. Ethical perspective comes fourth at 10%, and obviously product tooling, familiarity with existing awarded projects, 9 and 8% respectively. Okay. And then finally, on question 3, we have how many people should make the committee. And here, it's very, very clear. Almost more than half of all the 45 voters says it should be 5% at 59% of total points. And then 7 members say 17% says 7 members, and then 16% says 9 members. So that's quite clear. Now, because I don't want to, I want the presentation to be short, and then I don't even know how much time we are going to be on this. But here is the critical things to consider just on the surface, right? Just on the surface. From question 1, it looks like this has to be redone, focusing on just 3 or 4. So you have SACU nominates 25%, existing DF SACU 25%. Usually, we would say it's only a tie between the first 2, but the third one is very closely contended. So that's a thing there. And then if you put that side by side with the fact that everyone is saying it should be 5 members. When I say everyone, I mean 59%, all right? So please. So 59% of the voters say it should be 5 members in the committee. Now, that begs the question. If SACUs are nominating, we have 8 SACUs already on ground now. The documentation work group, which is a boarding SACU, makes it 9. And then there's also IT SACU coming up. Okay, let's say it's not yet up already yet, so maybe it's just 9. How does 9 SACUs, or 8 or 9, decide 5 people into the committee, right? And so that's a big question there from all of this.
Sorry if I may add, another question regarding this number 1 is the fact that for the second option there, which is the use of DF review circle as is, I still feel like since we have the highest number of circle members in the review circle, right? So what if that particular option is rigged? I don't know. Because I mean they have more people to vote for that than the rest of the circles, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's on the assumption that everyone within the review circle would naturally, have a bias for their own side, circle,
Exactly.
But
exactly.
yeah, but that's also valid. So yeah, that's the summary of the results, and then I think we are open now for conversation. I am just a messenger sharing.
So Vani sent a message that she's pretty much unsure how to interpret Q2, which is question 2, because this shouldn't be read as the CRIPS should only have people with technical expertise, should it? Should we see the vote results as an idea of proportions? Because that doesn't really work with a CRIPS of 5 members. I don't know if I can answer that question, but I think that particular question too just gives you the first, probably we can just pick the first points, the first 4 points there as the criteria for the CRIPS selection. I think that's what makes sense, or I think that's what it is. I don't know. Yeah, Vani.
I mean, I'm thinking that obviously what we're realizing is that these 3 questions are dependent on each other. And the fact that we've got a majority really keen on a crisp of 5 members affects the other 2 questions. I'm wondering if we should say, okay, that's the question that we've got a clear answer on. It's going to be 5. And let's go to the community and back to Lumio for the other 2 questions. Should they think?
You're breaking out
You were
for
breaking in at
me.
some point, Bunny.
Yes.
I'm sure you got the point though, didn't you?
I
Not
don't know.
quite,
I
to
don't
be
know.
honest. Sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We
Yes.
heard the up until the
Yeah,
first
Vani
part.
said that if we look at the results, it's very evident that the only place where we have clear direction or clear decision that looks like no issues is the number of people that should be in the committee. And that maybe we could take that as a prerequisite to continuing the conversation or the decision. Am I right, Vani?
Yeah, I'm suggesting that we say, okay, that's been agreed. There are 5 members, and then we go back to Lumio for the other 2 questions and ask people, in the light of the fact that there's 5 members, how do you think they should be selected? And what expertise should they have? We also need to be a bit clearer about, yes, they need technical expertise. Okay, brilliant.
Okay. So Vani, you were still having issues with your connection as well. But I think we get you. I think I got you. So Abdul, you raised your hand.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Ayo, for the great presentations, and thanks for every single person that have contributed to the quiz decisions.
Sorry,
I just
Abdul.
want,
I can't seem to hear you very clearly. I don't know if it's just me.
Yeah, Abdul, you're breaking off. The only thing I had is thank you. Yeah.
let me come back. I'll come back.
All right. So I'll move to Rafael.
Yeah, awesome. I don't know. I'm just gonna share my own personal perspective, but maybe this is confusing. But for me, I voted on the 3 questions, but the really important question was the question 1 for me. I don't really give too much weight to the other questions because having 9 or 5 or 7, I don't think is that important for me personally, as the way we are going to reach that. Not to be mean, I think the review circle does an awesome job, but for example, for me it would be much better to have, if we are doing it as a circle, to have the inputs of the other circles as well, for example, and not just the input of a single circle. I think that would add more richness to the decisions. Or if we're doing nominations, it would be good to have people with all kinds of backgrounds and not everyone with the same background. That being said, of course, having people from the review circle would definitely be useful and is a good background to have, but not all of them being from the review circle. So personally, yeah, I think the idea of repeating the questions, the 3 questions, is also good. And if it happens that people feel is the review circle, well, we got to respect democracy.
Okay, Vani just dropped a suggestion on chat. She said, let's say we have agreed there will be 5 members. So then let's go back to Lumio and ask about how members should be selected. Only asking with the top 3 options. Assuming that use the review circle means use 5 members of the review circle. Okay. So I guess Ayo should take note of that suggestion as well. Yeah, for the next. Yeah, Paulo.
Yes.
Yeah, I vote. I like the approach of Rafael, and I think the real circle. I think it's entirely because we have some tools and some things to evaluate the structure of the proposal, of the ideas, and all things proposed in CRISP. This is this good technical background. But it's interesting to have people from other circles too. It's very good to have this multidisciplinary view. This is very important. Maybe you can work in two shields, two steps, filtering these ideas. For example, the first one we can use this nominator with representative, something more about the application, about the idea, complete idea. I say this, in this more subjective way. And when you have the first filter, you can use the review circle machine to have this technical view about this is feasible or this is interesting about. Not the idea is to give this technical side. We have this technical machine is the review circle we can use. Is good, is available. At the same time, you can use all point of view to select the best ideas. It's like an architect and an engineer, you know, it's one have more big picture, and the others will try to put this in the reality and they help the teams with this. So we can work in two steps if you would like.
All right, Paulo. I saw Abdul and I don't know if you still want to say something, Abdul. If none, Ayo, there is another suggestion from Vani in chat. As for what expertise should they have? This is really a different type of question in it, because the answers are not mutually exclusive. A majority for technical expertise doesn't mean there should be no other expertise. So we need to decide how we will interpret the answers to that question. Yeah. Personally, I would decide that the first 3 or the first 4 should be the criteria for picking the CRIPS, right? So there should be a mix of technical with defunding knowledge, with financial knowledge, and then ethical perspective. I think those are the 4 highest votes that we have, right? I think those 4 should be the criteria for selection. I don't know. Well. So do anyone have any other inputs to make regarding this? I won't want to stretch the call any much longer. Yeah, Van.
Okay.
Just quickly, oh God, my internet connection. Sorry, I'll put it in chat.
Okay.
Okay,
So
okay. Yeah, thank you, Victor. So I wanted to say that yes, so I'm taking note of this. I'm also considering, I mean, all the conversations that we've had for so long on this subject. And I think I agree with Vani. We can take it from the 5 members to say, especially when we are deciding how to determine those people, right? So we can do it exactly as Vani suggested. And I also haven't had any contrary opinion to that. So it sounds, or it looks like it fits well with most of us, if not all of us. And then regarding the background, one thing that I also wanted to point out was that one of the things that everyone kind of, alluded to or assented to is that it's good for the committee to be rich and diverse. So which means that it would be nice to consider not just one quality for background, but to be able to consider other qualities. However, that brings the question to how to make the process consider these things, right? So I imagine anyways that if we, I don't know, of course, nobody knows what process would eventually be top if we do the revote based on these 3 options that are topmost here, right? We don't know which option comes up as the biggest, but the idea will be that how do you make sure that committee members that are 5 in number has this whole array of qualities and background that we all, from this vote think should be in the committee. I don't know if that makes any sense. That would be
so Vani, can you hear me, Ayo? Sorry. So Vani dropped a suggestion in chat. I guess that suggestion should answer your question. So the whole 5 people, it will be best if we pick members that have like 2 criteria in each of them. So, for example, Slate is technical and it has ethics. So that's 2 in 1 member. So someone else with knowledge about deep funding and has the business knowledge, that is 2 in 1 member. So if we have this mix in each of these members, it could that 5 could work because at least they have knowledge they have like
Are you
knowledge
campaigning for Slate?
No, I'm
Sounds like
just
you're
saying that
campaigning
I don't know if slates have ethics knowledge. I just said.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Abdul, sorry, Rafael, I'm coming to you. Abdul said, thanks to Ayo and everyone who have contributed to this decision-making process by voting. What I actually wanted to point out is not to have the belief that decisions were rigged by review circle, given the proportion of the circle numbers against the overall circle members. Okay. Personally, I am a member of the circle and I didn't vote the option. Okay. It's just logical for people to believe they have the experience before and then voted for the option without any bias. Thanks. I never mentioned bias. I just felt like, okay, since the review circle has more members, probably there just no bias. So, sorry about that. So yeah, Tommy before Rafael.
I wonder if all of the participants in the room realize the historical moment that is occurring right now. The 3 questions that Io put out, and thank you, Io, for doing a fantastic job, is really the first attempt at a decentralized decision across all the circles, 70 some odd members, with a fairly high voting percentage. Those that are speaking right now, I hope you've all voted. I would expect that if you did not vote, you would not speak right now. I think you forwent that privilege, but that's my opinion. I didn't hear some of the stuff rugged on me or broke up. So out of the 3 questions, Io, it seems like 1 is decisive, and that's the number of people. Number 2, was that decided? Is there a decisive vote on that? Question number 2. And the final one, which I think a lot of people started inputting before you finished your presentation, was or maybe it's question number 2 is the one everybody's working on. What was question number 3 then, Io? Was that decided?
Yes, question number 3 is mostly the one that is decided. Crisp of 5 members, because it has a very high margin on the votes.
Okay. And then question number 1, I thought that was number 1. I apologize. Question number 1 was which?
The process. Should it be nomination? Should it be review circle? Should it be circles nominating representatives?
So there's almost a 3-way tie.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so perhaps rephrase that question of those 3 questions and put it out again, and then figure out on the type of experience or skill, rephrase that question and put out a poll with 2 questions as has been suggested. And my suggestion in the comments is not only do you need, I think, expert review skills, but you also need a facilitator, someone to keep everybody in line, just as you're doing in this meeting, and Rafael normally does. You need a facilitator and you need some other skills. That's my opinion, though. And I don't want to badger people to vote either way. What I do want is all 70 some odd people in the circle should vote. That is I think important for the formation of this decentralized decision-making ability. But thank you very much for everybody that voted. Thank you for running this IO and starting this historical moment of a new methodology of decentralized decision-making. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you very much, Tommy. So Rafael, yeah, your hands have been up for a while now.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something already out of context. It was related with the what I was saying before. I think yeah, five members for any of the two choices makes sense. I think if we select circles, I think I don't agree with keeping it at 5 members. I think it would be better to have one representative per circle, as the question itself states. Yeah, that's just what I wanted to say.
Yeah, Rafael, thank you. That insight just also immediately presents how do I put it, some type of dilemma or conundrum, because if you think every circle should, for example, be represented, then it goes against the 59% on the 5 membership directly. Like that's just like a direct affront to that. And that's a huge number to, to consider throwing away in that sense. But not just that, but also the fact that there's also the question too, where technical expertise, knowledge of the ecosystem, ethical perspective, and then business and financial skills also come on top, right? So are we, able to identify circles who say, okay, from this circle, the only obvious thing here is you can say that from the review circle, you can have expertise on review, right? But I mean, there's no guarantee of what kind of background you are able to provide from all circles. And then it becomes really tough, for process, in the reality of the process. So are you going to say, what skill are you going to expect from onboarding circle, or is it just going to be all circles nominate and then we try to sort, okay, so now we have the nominations, who has this skill, and then there's a skill missing, but we have a complete number, then what happens, So I'm just saying that it looks like it may introduce a lot of work into the process. Yeah, but interesting viewpoint.
Yeah, I understand your point. For me, the only problem is, for example, I voted for 5 members with all my power, but I didn't care. I didn't care. Yeah, there was no other option in terms of like it's not important or something. So you had to select one number, right? But if it was the circles to win, I wouldn't care if it was 5 members or whatever. So, but I do understand your point. And well, whatever you guys decide, I think it's just important to make a decision. So even if it's far from optimal, at least then we learn and we move forward. And if it's not working, we'll change.
Yeah, Tommy, you raised your hand.
Yeah, Rafael, with due respect, are you we
I cannot hear you, Tommy. You're breaking out.
and go again?
I cannot hear you. Sorry.
Let me kill the video. Can you hear me? Can you hear me better now?
I think
Yes,
so.
yes, it's better now.
Okay. So what I'm asking, Rafael, after hearing what you said, are you suggesting that as a body, we go against the Democratic vote and ignore the majority in this first Lumio poll? Because
No,
you didn't like the results? Do you think that
no, I'm saying like
that's what you said. You said we should have a member from each circle and ignore the vote. That's why I'm asking the question.
no, Tommy, I voted, for example, for the members, and I voted 5 members, for example. But I had an option between 5, 7, and 9, right? So I voted on what I felt was best. But if the option I voted for on the other one was the circles winning, and that's the question that was important, right, for me personally, and that's what I would have chosen. So like there was no way to accommodate for my option. But I already said that I'm fine with whatever we decide, and I think we should just move forward. But I'm just telling you what was my personal experience and how I contributed to the majority. But that was not the important vote for me. It was the question one. I think it was the most important. I think it's the process. Can you understand what I say, Tommy?
I do, and thank you for clarification on that. I appreciate it greatly. Because
All right.
I really would hate, even though that one question may be more important and we can rephrase it as I suggested earlier, put out now a 2-question poll, I would really be upset with overthrowing the democracy, the higher vote. So, and that's what I heard, but I do understand your perspective. So thank you.
All right, thank you. No, it's not that. And even if, for example, I would prefer having the several circles and not just the review circle, but if that's what voted, that's what goes. It's okay.
Vani, I guess. Yep.
I'm going to talk fast while my connection seems to hold. I think, Rafael, what I'm getting you saying, oh, goodness sake, it's going again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
sorry. All right. Yeah, what I understood you to be saying, Rafael, is that you picked 5 as the optimal number, but then you also like the idea of each circle being able to nominate, and that's going to be more than 5. But there's a lot of people who are in more than one circle, so it might actually work out in the end that, this circle might nominate you, and another circle might nominate you. Do you know?
Yeah, it didn't work out this time. Yeah, I understand. And yeah, that could be a way to work it out. Yeah, that's a good idea, Vani.
Yeah, Ayo, you have
Yes, yes,
hands
yes.
up.
So just a quick point to what Rafael said. And I mean, I don't mean to be the devil's advocate, but Rafael, you went through naturally question 1 before question 2, before question 3, right? And you did not make accommodation for your own decision in question 1, right? Because if you wanted circle representative, you already know how many circles we have. And then when you got to how many members you want in the committee, you chose 5, right? So that's just, I mean, that's the way I see it, right? So I think it's just you didn't make the what you consider less important to be a sequel, in decision to what you consider more important. So we are sorry, but 59% is a big democratic decision.
Sure, I'm not going to continue this conversation, but for your point, I feel that if it's circle nominative, like if we grow in circles, the number will grow or decrease, right? So it shouldn't be 9 or 7 or 5. It should be whatever number of circles we have. But as I said, it is important to make a decision and move forward. So I'm okay with anything we do. And then if there's problems, we change and iterate.
All right.
Yeah, 9 was the closest number for your decision. Rafael. All right, thank you.
So okay, Vani just posted a suggestion, or she sent a suggestion in chat. Theoretically, it could also work if each circle nominated someone, and then there was a second stage where we picked top 5 out of those. Okay, I think that makes sense. And Ray, you asked the question if we can have this group rotated. Yeah, one of the suggestions we had while creating this scripts discussion is to have a 6-month trial experiment. So after 6 months, the group is rotated. I think Ayo should include it. Probably another question in the Lumio, if we can have maybe a short time frame, maybe 3 months rotation or thereabouts. But I feel like 3 months is a short time. It's going to be different. It's going to be difficult for the first set because the first set of probably 5 people that we have agreed on will still be building the process in 3 months. So allowing them live in 3 months is a short period of time. But I don't know. I really don't know. So please do have a question or suggestion. If not, we'll just round up today's meeting. We are 2 hours in.
Yeah, it already feels like the longest all hands in a long while.
So questions, suggestions, closing remarks, please speak. So let me check who is in the call. Oh, Rafael, you're back. Hello, Presa, are you back?
Yep. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Getting up to date with the news in the all hands. Interesting discussions.
So Vani, Aya will be creating a new poll, I think. I think that's what we have decided on, right? So if we are going to re-decide, then Aya will be creating a new poll. I guess that answers the question, right, Vani? Okay, Tommy, please.
Yeah, to close it up, and Vanny asked a very pertinent question, and Rafael, the second Rafael, makes some good points. I would probably suggest a new poll, and we may want to include Raphael's question: should there be one from every circle? Keeping in mind this, I don't think this is public knowledge, but it's been suggested and discussions have started on whether there should be a limitation of the number of circles that a member can participate in so we don't get too diluted. So say we do come up, and this will probably be a Lumio question next, should community members be limited to one, two, or three circles? And if Chris becomes one of them, that would limit your ability, if this does go anywhere, it would limit the ability to work in other circles. So I suggest, though, that we take Raphael's concern to heart and rephrase the questions, and perhaps I'll put them in a little different order.
Okay.
I commented that I think we should put these points in a document and allow anyone weigh in on matter most before we publish them as question on email. All right. So yeah, I'm not sure I will entertain any more suggestions or remarks or questions anymore because we have run out of time. So we will be closing this, and probably there will be another meeting for this kind of discussion in the future, probably next week or next all hands. Can we use Lumio for discussion as well as voting? I don't know. Yeah, there's a comment section on Lumio. I don't know if that works for discussion. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming to this all hands. I'm sorry, but we have to go, right? Thank you for participating, and I hope you liked or you enjoyed my hosting today. So I hope I do this some other time. I hope I don't do this another time, please.
Thank you so much.
The first sentence was better. I hope I do this some other time. Yes, you will. That's good. That's good.
All right, guys.
Well done, Mayor.
You see, Vanny wants you to do it every time now, Mayor. So just make your agenda available.
Okay. I'll try. Thank you, guys.
Good job, mentor.
See you next week. Bye.
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 Ayo, please, can you stop the recording or can I end the call before that?
Okay.